folks. Welcome back to the Dennis Miller Show. Bumper Music Wednesday. The Temps. That is the way you do the things you do. And I want our phone callers to hang on, especially Eric in Denver. I have to talk to our guests. Don't have to, want to. But I do want to get the story from Denver, as Eric says, about this Black National Anthem thing. Joining us now from New Delhi, nonetheless, no less, is Republican Congressman of Michigan, Thaddeus McCotter. Thad, what is it, some sort of wild junket over there?
No, I'm not trying to channel George Harrison or anything. We're on a Congressional Delegation led by Gary Ackerman from New York. We stopped in Egypt. That was President Mubarak. Went to Afghanistan to see our troops, talked to the generals in the field, President Karzai. Then we went to Pakistan. As you know, that tribal border region between Pakistan and Afghanistan is becoming quite a problem. Mm-hmm. And now we're in New Delhi at the very time that the government may fall over the potential civil nuclear agreement between the United States and India. And ironically, as you know, David Dreyer and I are colleagues, and I know you're very close to David, and we have this running little argument amongst ourselves whether there's any communists anymore. On our schedule, we were supposed to meet with the leader of the Communist Party who hates the United States and doesn't want anything to do with this deal. And like Sir Edmund Hillary, I was going to follow the tracks and get a picture with this Yeti as a communist, sign it and send it to David Dreyer.
See, now you kill me. How's the curry over there, more importantly? What's it like in New Delhi, man?
I haven't notched on it yet, man, but I'm a meatloaf guy from the Motor City, and I don't know that it's going to do much for my indigestion, especially when you consider some of the things we're seeing here and over here.
Well, just walk around with Seeger on your iPod, baby, if stay loose. So what are some of the things you're hearing over there? Is it making you spilkus?
Well, Pakistan is getting blamed in Afghanistan for allowing the incursions from the tribal regions to come in. The problem that we have in Pakistan is the phrase global war on terror is being seen as America's war on our co-religionists. It's a very poor country. They have rolling blackouts. They have food and economic security problems over there. And so what's happening now is that they're being attacked by suicide bombers for trying to help clean out the tribal regions as best they can with their frontier corps and regular army. Mm-hmm. The problem becomes the average Pakistani believes that is a distraction from their pressing domestic needs and from their perpetual concern about their border with India, not with Afghanistan. It's the role of the United States. We have to start to focus countries that are allied with us in this war for freedom to start figuring out that it's in their primary interest not to allow bin Laden and drug lords to set up a sanctuary in their tribal border region, because that will destabilize their own situation, their own democracy, or their own government. And so primarily dealing with this threat is in their best interest first and foremost, which also has a corollary benefit to the United States. It's very touchy over in Pakistan because the public, like in Madrid. Remember when Madrid was bombed, the train bombings? Because they were part of the Iraq coalition, and they blamed their own government for going into that coalition and bringing the al-Qaeda attack on themselves, and eventually this government changed, and the Spanish withdrew their troops from Iraq. We can't have a similar situation happen in Pakistan, and it's already dangerous because there was a suicide bombing that killed hundreds of Pakistanis, and they blamed the government for it, for being a proxy army for the United States in the tribal region. So we have an opportunity to sandwich al-Qaeda and the warlords in these tribal regions between the Afghan forces, NATO, and the United States, and the Pakistanis. But we have to be delicate with how we deal with the Pakistanis, lest we cause more internal problems. And remember, this is a nuclear-armed country that just saw the person who was going to be their new leader assassinated, Benazir Bhutto. It's a very tumultuous time over there, and we have to be very careful.
I'll say those stand countries they're wild men in the stand. Anything that ends with a stand is absolutely wild. And it's tough to explain the concept of destabilization to a guy whose eyes are more glazed over than a band roll-on applicator. So good luck with that Codel mission over there. Now listen, I saw that.
It's heating up, man.
Huh?
It's heating up. It's heating up. The heat over here is incredible. I was thinking of putting down for 2 sponge baths from Sal, man, when I get back.
One.
Still in the business?
Just one.
you got
you get a license yet for that?
The world's
license
not
for your loofah pad?
I'll go downtown. I'll let you know.
Lines are getting pretty deep over here.
You can just Google the sardonic geisha, which I believe is on Sal's business card right now.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a funny YouTube video of you, Thaddeus.
Was that an old movie of yours?
Yes, it was. I think I was in there.
It was you and me.
If you're having trouble in your career, Dennis, you always got to pull the transvestite roll out to show you can stretch.
The good thing about my career is I've been having trouble in it for over 25 years now. So that's the key to showbiz for me. You just keep moving. Serpentine, my friend. Tell me about speaking Democrat. I saw this YouTube video, and it killed me, man. Break down some of the terminology. What does progressive mean, for instance?
Progressive, the Democrats are a progressive party, translates into the Democrats are a regressive party. The Democrats will bring you change translates into the Democrats will bring you the 1970s. It was just an attempt to try to show how they do certain words, certain phrases, and how it really translates into what they intend to do.
Yeah, government equals socialism, enhanced revenues means raise taxes. This is that guy out of Berkeley. I was reading about a guy named Wackoff. Have you heard? Is his name Wackoff or Lackoff?
No, that's one of Putin's advisors.
No, but there is a guy up at the University of Cal Berkeley named Lackoff who's a linguistic professor, and he's talking about how the only thing wrong with liberalism is they have to rephrase all their arguments, because he says they are the most saleable thing, they are the most caring thing, but they put it in the wrong terms. So this all sounds like Lackoffese to me. And
yeah, it's like it's now its own lingo. But if you think about it, for example, like one of the things was, in all seriousness, you're trying to show that how when they repackage things, it's still the same old policy underneath it, you know. And so when you say tough principled diplomacy will protect America from Iranian nukes, they're really saying tough principled magic will protect America from unprincipled nukes, because they never define what tough principled diplomacy is without a credible military deterrent behind the negotiations.
Right.
So it was tongue-in-cheek, but it also wanted to help people understand that if you don't dig beneath the surface, you will find yourself back in the 1970s with America engaged with aggressive enemies abroad on the advance and with the domestic economy in the dumper. And you can see no greater place in this than the failure to have an energy policy in the United States, because the Democrats will not go for domestic production. They will not tie it to free market innovations or common sense conservation. So I mean, it was tongue-in-cheek, but seriously, if you don't dig beneath the surface and find that beneath that Baby Ruth bar wrapper that there's something that, you know, Bill Murray might pull out of a pool, you're going to wind up tasting something you didn't expect.
And it's funny that they're going to be outed on that issue by our refusal to dig underneath the surface to get any oil, because this is a bad time for this to come up. I hope it takes in the next 4 months, where people realize, wait a second, we're in complete gridlock here. We're not allowed to do anything, and it's all because ostensibly because of the caribou. I think the left is in harm's way here on this issue. I just hope McCain presses a little. I'm not sure. This is Thad McCotter. He's in New Delhi. Go out and get yourself some sort of kebab, and watch out for the mystery meat. Thank you, Representative Thad McCotter, Republican Congressman of Michigan, calling in from overseas. Give us a call,